This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans, and this is the League of Ireland review, match day 10 and 11. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy, and you are very welcome. Of course, before we get started, do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like button for the video because it really helps with the algorithm. And if you want an audio version of this podcast, head over to lansdowneroar.ie or go to wherever you get your podcasts from. Don't forget to head over to our Facebook, Instagram and our Twitter account, and you can give Conor a follow over there at Rep Tracker. Conor, haven't seen you for hours. How are you on this wonderful evening?
Yeah, it feels weird recording on a Wednesday, doesn't it? We don't usually record on a Wednesday in any context, so no, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
late.
been a quiet day today in terms of football circles after yesterday's news and the mad weekend, the Easter football with Irish lads abroad or Irish lads playing at home. So no, it's good to have a almost switch off. I don't really get a chance to switch off with the way I'm always on my phone, but it's
yes,
good to
he
have
is.
What's the word, to a debrief from constantly just watching matches all day. But how are you?
A respite, I think, is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yep. Obviously, I didn't get to go on the live to talk about Elmar Cano and all that. We won't talk about it too much here. Obviously, this is a League of Ireland episode, but big news that obviously came out yesterday. Obviously, it's time recording. But of course, yeah, we will be back. Of course, this will be hitting you on a Thursday or very late Wednesday, and we will be back with another episode on early Friday. And of course, we will be live on Monday night. Well, the three of us will be back on this Monday. Did Mara say he's going to be on this one? He did, didn't he? On Monday.
Yeah, he did. He said if it was Sunday, he'd be out celebrating Enfield Town, staying up.
And I'll be celebrating Liverpool. Title win, we hope. Yes, 20th title win, Conor. 20, hey? How's that perch doing, hey?
This League of Ireland here, mate.
Yeah, how's that perch doing, Conor? Knocked off. Look at that. What's that sound, Conor? That should be knocked off your perch. Do you even know what that means? Do you understand the connotations of that statement, Conor?
Yes, I do. But this is a League of Ireland podcast.
This is don't worry.
Make about English football.
Plenty of time to talk about that on Monday. Of course, join us live Monday night at 10 o'clock. Right, and you are correct. Sorry. I have a frog in my throat. You are correct, Conor. This is the League of Ireland, and what a weekend of League of Ireland action it was. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the results from match day 10 just quickly, and then we're going to move on to match day 11. So here we are. Here were the results. Bohemians getting a vital win, actually, against Cork City at home, 1-0. Drogheda United dropping points. My tip for relegation, of course, is to start. No win for them. They draw 2-2 at home against the champion Shelbourne. Galway United losing 3-2 at home to Derry City. St. Pat's Athletic, easy for me to say, dropping points at home. 2-2 draw with Shamrock Rovers. And Waterford getting an absolute thumping by, well, they were bottom of the table at that time. Don't want to spoil it. Sligo Rovers. Some interesting ones there. So let's move it on to match day 11 and see what we got here. Shamrock Rovers, of course, in an absolute mental game of football at the Tallaght Stadium, leading 2-0, and then, of course, succumbing 3-2 eventually. Bohs, we're going to talk about that in a second. Of course, Cork City left it late to take all 3 points at Turner's Cross and a 2-1 win over Waterford. Drogheda United dropping more points. This is how it starts. I'm telling you now. They're starting now. They're starting to bottle it. Their survival in the Premier Division. And, of course, they drew 0-0 against St. Pat's at home. Shelbourne, well, Duff laments terrible defending of his own side there. Of course, Shelbourne drawing 2-2 with Galway United. And, of course, we're going to talk about all these now a little bit. But, of course, kind of the only place to start would be Rovers' capitulation against Bohemians. 2-0 up. Joshua Hanahan. Of course, putting the home team 1-0 up in the 39th minute. Actually, almost made it 2-0, didn't he? Smashed the post.
That was to make it 1-0. That was to make it 1-0.
That would have made it 1-0. Okay, apologies. Oh. What a shot, though. And then, of course, Michael Noonan, the young lad, made it 2-0 in the 41st minute. And they were cruising. Oh, by the way, I have to say the state of the flares during Noonan's second goal, by the way.
Mad, isn't it?
I hate flares. I hate flares. It's not even a fashion statement. And then, of course, Dawson Devoy made it 2-1 on the 70th. Ross Tierney on the 81st minute. Of course, Reece Brennan, his 18-year-old lad, got his first ever Premier Division goal. I could be wrong on that. Please correct me if I am.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, and of course, Bohs booed off at half-time. What a turnaround, Conor, right? Absolute pandemonium. And of course, I had a very happy text from a young Bohs fan. I won't repeat what he texted me because it's not suitable. We're trying to keep this a family show, this one. We'll mention it on the live, of course.
Yeah, it was a mad one, wasn't it? It was just mad. It was the perfect start to Easter Monday. 2 p.m. kickoff at Tala. I think it was 8,500 were at it. The atmosphere was rocking from the home end at the start. Because Bohs had started very, very well. The first half an hour, 35 minutes, Bohs were by far, I think, the better team, playing lovely football, and they were pressing Rovers up very high. And then obviously the 2 goals came. Honahan, I think, is showing why he is in consideration to make the Ireland squad. But even the shot he took to hit the post and then scoring, which was a lovely goal, and then Michael Noonan getting his first League of Ireland goal. And what a way to get your first League of Ireland goal, taking the ball from your own half. Yeah, there was probably questionable defending, and someone should have stepped out to him. But it was a very nice finish. Even though it was hard to see in the first angle with the way the pyro was blowing, but I guess it was just because it was so soon after the first goal. And then the whole thing just went mad in the second half until, well, it was just kind of straightforward until the 70th minute. It kind of looked like Rovers were going to either get a third. Well, they weren't. It wasn't like they were creating a huge amount of chances, but it was kind of that sort of game that you thought would just peter out at 2-0, or Rovers might get a third. But then Dawson Devoy got his lovely goal, and things just completely changed on his head. And Rovers seemed to capitulate a wee bit. I don't know if you could really say that, but obviously Ross Tierney's starting to show again why he's been one of the best players in the league this season, getting the equaliser. And then young Reece Brennan came on off the bench. He was electric when he came on, and then he got the winner, which was great to see. It was mad to think that, I think it was 18 months ago, he was playing with Crumlin United in the DDSL, and soon after that, after he signed for Bohs, got his first Ireland under-19 call-up. Because I remember when he got called up, it was kind of a surprise one, because he kind of had gone from DDSL to League of Ireland Academy football to an international setup so fast, and it just shows lads develop at different ages, and he's still so young that I'm sure the interest in his signature from clubs abroad are starting to heighten up after seeing that the weekend. Obviously we want him staying at home as long as possible, but it's just natural when you have a young lad that's impressing, and not just coming, because there's a difference in really coming off the bench, Dave, and playing well, or coming off the bench and scoring a goal and not really having an impact. But when you seen he came on, he brought that extra bit of X factor to the Bohs team. And just away from that match, just in terms of Shamrock Rovers, a bit of news has come out in the last 20 minutes, is that from Dan McDonald that Arsenal are leading the race for Victor Ozhianvuna. I think I think it was something about when he went to the Hale Cup at an under 14 and Rovers won that at his age. Arsenal have been huge fans since. I know he's been over on trial a couple of times since, and his agent is quite well versed, Graham Barrett at Arsenal, so there's a good link there with him anyway. And I think
Stephen Bradley is too, isn't he?
Yeah, Bradley is as well. So, which you're not too fond of some of the statements, but it's great to see a young lad getting interest from probably the top 2 Premier League clubs at the moment. And it's not a surprise the talent he has, but it's good to have interest like that. And sure, I'll mention a bit of transfer news when we get to the Players Club.
Absolutely. Next game up, Cork City, 2-1 winners over Waterford. Tommy Lonergan put the away side in front on the 53rd minute. And of course, Evan McLaughlin got an 89-minute pen. I thought the goalie was dreadful for that, actually. And then Kit Edward Nelson in the 95th minute. Well, that's how his name is.
No, but the fact you put in, I don't know if that's his middle name or that's what he goes by, but it's always Kit Nelson.
Well, I'm giving a bit of class to him, Kit Edward Nelson. I think it really
very Irish name, isn't it? Kit Edward Nelson.
It is a bit Irish and English. It's weird.
No, he's not Irish. Don't worry.
Is he not?
No, he's not Irish.
Where's he from?
England somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, name like that. Yes, and of course he got the winner on the 90 plus 5. You know, when you do that thing in the 95th minute. Absolute scene to turn his cross, like a pitch invasion, the whole lot. Like, it was absolutely. Actually, Waterford very unlucky at the end. They smashed the crossbar, didn't they?
Yeah.
Could have easily equalised, but a great win for Cork, especially. Yeah, no,
They
just a
were in a
great win
rut.
for Cork, really.
Yeah, they were in a bit of a rut, weren't they, at
Yeah.
the last couple of weeks, and you could see what Tim Clancy was starting to get a bit. I don't know whether he was panicking or we spoke last week after Rover game. He was very annoyed at his players for their lack of, I don't know whether it was work rate or leadership in the dressing room, but things that happens when you get to Derby games and everything matters, and that they respond from that loss actually to Bohs, a late winner that James McManus scored, which Prendy is very happy about on Friday night. And then they responded on Monday, going 1-0 down, and they easily could have hid, they could have gave up, but then they got the two late goals. Obviously, the penalty always helps, but then we've seen star man, star boy, every word in the book you could call Cathal O'Sullivan, because he's just that good, and he's stepped up from the first division to the Premier Division this year as a 17, 18-year-old now, and is bringing that form from last year into this season. And you could easily say that he's been Cork's best player to start the season, I would say, anyways, particularly in the attacking end, because he's not just brilliant on the ball, but his work rate and the way he fights with players, and even despite his size, he uses his body exceptionally well. You can even see that for I don't know if he was awarded the assist or not for Kit Nelson's goal, but he done a lot of work for it.
Edward.
It was a great finish, but he done a lot of great work for it, and it's not a surprise that, funny enough about this, it was just come out today that Palace are leading the race from. I did get a couple of DMs over the last few weeks saying, from someone on the Palace side, saying that he heard it was a done deal. But I didn't know how seriously to take it because I had no one to verify it on the Irish side of things, so I didn't want to put it out in the media. But the fact that it's coming out today from reputable sources in Ireland, that more reputable sources, I like to say I'm a reputable source, but that
Don't know about
Palace
that.
are heavily in the race, makes me think that Palace are definitely, or Palace themselves, if it's coming from their side, which the info I got was from, that they think they're going to win the race for Cathal O'Sullivan, which is, we've seen with the lads that have gone there. From Jake O'Brien went there, Franco Uma has gone there, and both have done very well. Obviously, Jake O'Brien's turned into a senior international, and Frank William is one of their best academy prospects at the moment. So, no,
Yeah.
it's good to see clubs that, well, you just worry though at times is going from League of Ireland to directly from League of Ireland to Premier League is still a massive, massive, massive step up. But is it that they're going to bring him to a first team, or would they have him go out and loan next season? Because Cathal O'Sullivan isn't the type of player that will stay and play academy football for a year, because he's 18 at this stage and he's ready for the next step. But no, it's just great to see young lads, and it's been the thing. It's the theme of the season. Dave, people are saying that there's a lack of like star quality in the League of Ireland this year, but the every average team is so much stronger than what it was last season, and the majority of what the good things are coming from young talent this season,
Yeah.
which is always best, is always what you want to see in this league.
Of course. Next game up, Drogheda United drawing 0-0 with Bats. No real clear-cut chances, really, was there? Although, to be fair, Barry Bagley almost snatched the winner. I think it was injury time, actually. It was a great save from Dennison, the goalkeeper. But yeah, just cancelled each other. Well, Drogheda just cancelled out Pats, really, didn't they? And Pats just couldn't break him down, really. And
Drogheda, top of the league, top of the league, top of the league, Drogheda, top. No, it was two draws. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't actually seen much reaction from Drogheta's fans over the Easter break, because I'd say they're still absolutely on cloud nine. That they're still top of the league, but the two draws at home to Shells and Pats. I don't know whether that's considered even 2 points draw. Maybe they would have preferred maybe to get 3 points or 4 points from the break or from the
well, they
weekend.
get another go with them, don't
Yeah,
they, at home? Like,
yeah,
obviously, they play each other 4 times,
yeah.
so
Yeah, I was
yeah,
not no, it's not to worry about it. It just means I
no.
would, if anyone's a Drogheda fan watching, are they happy with 2 points against two? You'd say on talent wise, two of the three best squads in the league, like, because
Yeah.
it's never. I know they were both at home, but they're still two very good sides, and I think
I
with the
think
weather condition,
Yeah, I think to be happy
yeah,
enough. You know,
yeah,
like if it's later on in the season, and
yeah,
it would have been nice, obviously, put a bit of,
yeah.
we don't want to ruin it because we're going to look at the standings, but put a bit of space between themselves and Chels and Pats, because obviously it's a 6-horse race, really, isn't it? Or
The thing is,
five horse race.
it's an 11. There's been 11 games played,
Well,
and Drogheda
yeah,
are top of the league, which is crazy. I think, I know we don't want to spoil it, but I think everyone knows at this stage. But the fact is, they would have, if you said to a Drogheda fan, I think on Friday morning, would you take still being top of the league on Monday after the games, no matter the results, I think they'd be happy with it. And
Mhm.
the reality is, it's a 7-horse race at the stage. And I think 7 teams are still within a chance to win the league. I know Bohs are 7th on 15 points, but that's only 5 points off top. And the league changes that fast. And because they have looked to show it against Rovers how talented their squad is. I know they haven't performed to the levels that we expect, but it's kind of a 7-horse race, which is crazy to think. But no, it's great to see Drogheda keeping it up. Pats are a lovely footballing side. They'll always play nice football. They'll always create well. And when you have a man up front like Melia, who's just an elite footballer at the end of the day, you always have a chance. And I know they'll be disappointed with how their two, in comparison, they only picked up 2 points against Rovers at home and then Drogheda away over the Easter weekend. So I don't think Stephen Kenny will be too impressed with that. But it's their thing is the reality is they're only a point off Drogheda, but they probably would have hoped that they would have came away from that weekend top of the league with maybe 2 points clear of the rest or 3 points clear. But I guess when you go away to Drogheda, it's probably, you'd say, I would argue at the moment it's the toughest away ground to go to in the league. But the way it is, the fans are, I think, the best fans in the league. The way it's a smaller venue and everything's on top of you. But I think both teams will be relatively happy in the end to come away with a point from that game, I'd like to think.
Yeah, I mean, it's early, as you say, and you get 3 more goes at each other and another go at each other at home.
2 more goes, because that was the first of the second round of fixtures.
Sorry, of course, yes, because we only did that, didn't we? Sorry. So yeah, so we're going to get 2 more goes. God, they come thick and fast, only in the League of Ireland.
Yeah.
No, look, I mean, I would say, well, they're drawing too many. You don't want to draw too many games, but you look at what Shelburne did last season. You many games they drew. That's mad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No. Still in it. They're doing all right, I suppose. Next game, Shelburne, the champions, 2-2 draw at home to Galway United. Ellis Chapman on the first minute, really. No, it was the first minute, actually put the champions in front. Moses Dyer equalising the 37th. Mipo Badeko with a tidy finish on the 67th.
You've done it again.
Odebeko, sorry. That is a Freudian slip now. I actually have it in front of me, spelled correctly.
Move
sorry.
On.
Yeah, sorry, Mipo. Moses Dyer, if you're watching, I'm sure he's not. Moses Dyer then, of course, equalising on the 81st minute. Burns also hit the bar for Galway when they're 1-0 down. Actually smashed it. Moses Dyer then he got one from the break, actually, didn't he? When
directly from Chapman hitting the post, and then it came up the first one.
Yeah. Although, was it poor goalkeeping or was he blindsided? I'm not sure. I looked at it and the goalkeeper looked like he was kind of flat-footed, but I think obviously don't have, because it was on that game.
Goal. The unbelievable finish. Both goals were really, really good finishes into the top corner.
It was one, I can't remember which one it was, where it looked like top corner, but the goalie didn't move. And I thought, oh, hold on, but I think he was actually blindsided by the defender, by the Shelburne defender. So I was like, why didn't he move? Because it doesn't matter, you should move. But I think it was actually blindsided. He didn't see it from his own defender. But you don't have that. You can't see it from the different angles. And that is what it is. But yeah, Duff obviously came out and said, we're a better team than last year, but our defending is atrocious. Or crazy defending, I think it was what he said. But yeah, Shelburne again dropping points at home.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? That they're well, I don't think it's too strange because Galway are a good side in the league. As simple as is that tight, but I know Shell or Duff is talking about the defense not being as good, but they are missing at the moment. They're missing Paddy Ballard and Lewis Temple that has come in this season, returned from loan and was excellent. He got man of the match in the game he played actually against Pats, and then he somehow, I think he broke his foot and he's out for a while now. So that shows the luck they have in terms of keeping men fit at the back. I think the first goal probably is a bit harsh to blame anyone because the reality is it was a counter-attack that came from Ellis Chapman smashing the bar, and then Moses Dyer. I know you said about not moving, but it did go top corner at the end of the day. It was a brilliant finish, and I think that when you go 1-0 up after what was it 40 seconds, you'd hope to kick on from there, but it didn't seem to go that way. And then Mipo's goal was an excellent goal. It was a lovely touch, and then Cooley's pass it past the keeper.
Yeah.
He still shoots 500 times a game, which I'd say it's quite frustrating for his
It
teammates.
was a
But
feint, wasn't it? Feint onto
yeah,
his right foot,
yeah, it
like the
was
way he
lovely.
just turned
Yeah.
feint. Yeah, it was beautiful.
It just shows he has that class. It's just someone probably needs to tell him to stop shooting every time you get the ball, because when he's in the positions to score, he usually does score. It's just not shooting from not be shooting from places that are 10% chance of going in. But no, and then the second goal for Galway came from Captain Mark Coyle, who never seems to really make mistakes. I know he's filling in as a centre half at the moment with the issues at depth. Made a poor mistake giving the ball away, and then Moses Dyer punished him again with a lovely finish, which he seems to be a very good striker. You can tell that's why he's an international footballer for New Zealand, and
Joint top goal scorer as well,
yeah,
5
yeah,
goals.
yeah. So he's you can tell he's an international. They've done a good job of recruiting him in the summer because he looks a real player. Galway are always one of the most difficult teams to play against, and I think Shell's Duff will be more annoyed at the fact that they came away from that weekend again with 2 draws, like Drogheda and Pats did. Like Shells, you think should have won that game, but I guess when you're defending like that and with the players you're missing, there's not much you can really do, and it's hard to blame the players too much for that.
Like just looking here, like in the last 5 games, Shelbourne have drawn 3, only won 2. Drawn the last 2, of course. Shamrock Rovers have won 3, drawn 1, lost 1. Pats, same again, almost identical to Shelbourne. 1-2, drawn 3, and Drogheda 1-2, drawn 3. Like they're just, and they're taking points off each other. It's mad.
It's a league you can never get too high and you can never get too low, because you can win a game, you can win 2 in a row and then you end up losing 6-0 the next week, or you lose 4 in a row and you end up battering what Sligo did to Waterford. We're getting battered most weeks, and then they go away from home and beat Waterford 4-0. So like it just shows the difference, how the league is just so hit and miss at times.
Absolutely. And speaking of Sligo, unfortunately, didn't batter anybody. They got battered. They lost 3-0 at home. Sorry, 3-0 away at the Brandywell at Derry City. Danny Mullen, no relation to Larry Mullen. That's a drummer from U2, Conor, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah. I didn't know who
Junior. Yeah. Greatest Irish export other than myself. U2. Danny Mullen on the 15th minute put them 1-0 up. Gavin White, 25th minute, doubled the lead, and then Danny Mullen got his brace, completed his brace, I should say, on the stroke of halftime, the 46th minute. Basically, was over, done and dusted. Not really too much to talk about. Sligo, I'd say they're in trouble. Well, you look at the league table, they're kind of not. Like they're kind of hanging around there.
Yeah.
You know, they just won't seem. Sorry, Sligo, but you just won't flush. So yeah, 3-0 battered. Really, like they didn't really do much in that game at all, did they? It was just all Derry.
No. It was the only game I didn't get to see like a majority of it or a decent percent of it last night. But I've seen, just watching back the highlights and watching back the goals, it's just a bit of a mess really for Sligo at the moment. The goals obviously were, some of them were good finishes. Gavin White is starting to show his class, like how he was once international with Northern Ireland, and that he was playing with Portsmouth at a very good level, and he's probably the type of player you could probably think might break back into the Northern Ireland team if he's doing well in the League of Ireland. And Danny Mullen's also an excellent player. Like you can see with the talent, they've so much talent in that Derry side. It's just about getting it all to click, and maybe this is the start of something for them. Maybe they needed that very dominant win over Sligo to go to the next level, but it's disappointing for the Sligo point of view. It's good to see they're starting to get men back fit again, which is always important. But no, they are in trouble in terms of their position. I know they're only 3 points off, or 2 points off Waterford, but it still is worrying the amount of games that they are losing and the goals that they're conceding. They're scoring a lot of goals, but they're also conceding so many goals.
So let's have a look at the league table. Here it is. Of course, top Drogheda United on 20 points. St. Pat's in second on 19 points. Shamrock Rovers in third on 18 points. Shelbourne fourth on 18 points as well. Galway United on 17 points. Derry City in sixth on 17 points. Bohemians in 7th on 15 points. 7 horse race, Conor, as you rightly said earlier on. Then, of course, Cork City 5 points behind in 8th. Waterford in 9th. They are 9 points. The Sligo Rovers, as bad as their record has been, and we're going to talk about that in 2 seconds, they're still, they're relatively in touching distance on 7th. Just looking there at the table, Conor, like, where is it? Sligo Rovers have lost 4 out of the last 5. Of course, they won the game before last. And Waterford have lost their last 5 in a row. And Cork City have only won 1 game out of the last 5 as well. Of course, that was their last game. And it was as you said, they were in a rut. And of course, they turned it around the last minute. That is mental. Like, you think about it, if Cork City don't win that, they're on 7 points. It's so close, isn't it? Like, it's everywhere.
Like, Waterford could be on 12 points, and you're kind of saying, maybe they're in the title race as well, even though they sacked Keith Long last week. But no, it seems to be a 3-horse race down at the bottom. You think probably for who'll finish in the bottom 3 slots, which of the 2 of the 3 will go down, or will obviously 9th goes into the playoff. But no, it's mad. Like, when you look at Sligo Rovers, even they're the joint top goal scorers in the league. There's 4 teams have scored 16 goals, and they're one of them. But the reality is, they've conceded the most goals in the league to conceded 24. Like,
yeah,
they shouldn't be that. Like,
that's brilliant, though. I mean, like, I know we were talking on top of the podcast. I'm looking forward to watching Liverpool hopefully win the league title and all that. And they've won it at a canter. Let's be honest. And the last time they won it, they were 25 points clear of Man City before the lockdown. Just want to remind certain fans of that, because that seems to get forgotten. However, my point is, the Premier League's been won at a canter. I imagine it will be. Look at this, like 11 games gone, 7 teams can win it. 7 teams can win. Like, they are all capable of winning that league. It's brilliant. It's fantastic entertainment, and it's drama. It's really, like, I mean, if you're kind of watching this and you're not really following it, get on board. Go get yourself the pass, or go get the League of Ireland pass as well. Like, it's great value, Conor, isn't it? Like, it's good entertainment. Pick a team and see what happens.
Yeah, it's mad. It is the greatest league in the world, as I say. It's entertainment, right, left, and centre. You never know who's going to win. It's probably the most impossible league in the world to bet on. So I wouldn't advise putting money on teams to win each week, because it's not going to money on it. Because it's not going to go how you think it's going to go, no matter what you think. So no, I think it's been the thing. Everyone's thought Drogheda would eventually fall off. Drogheda would eventually start losing games, or Drogheda would stop drawing games even. And
you said that like stupid, eh?
Yeah. Who thought last? But no, it's been some start to the season, and I think it's only going to kick off and keep getting more dramatic.
Oh, 100%. Of course, we will be back next week with another League of Ireland review. Let's have a look at the standings, and then we're going to get out of here. No, we just did that, didn't we? Let's look at the fixtures, and then we're going to get out of here. Bohemians, of course, big match on Friday night. There's actually a couple of big games. They host St. Pat's. St. Pat's looking to get their title charge back on track. Or will Bohs get their title charge back on track? That's the big game at Downymount Park. Then Galway United host Drogheda United at 7:45. That is also on the League of Ireland TV app. Then the big game on Virgin Media 2 will be Shamrock Rovers hosting Shelbourne, the champions. A massive game there as well. 2 massive games. I mean, they're all massive games, really, aren't they? That, of course, is on Virgin Media 2. So if you are in the Republic of Ireland, you can only watch it on Virgin Media 2. But if you're outside the Republic of Ireland, you can watch it on the League of Ireland app. Then, of course, Waterford will host Derry City at home. And then Sligo Rovers against Cork City. That is a 6-pointer and a half. Both teams really struggling on the bottom end of the table. And we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, as always. Before you go, do hit the like button, please. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. And if you want an audio version of this podcast, head over to Spotify. Sorry we didn't do that on the last one. Spotify was being a bit of a bowsy, so we wouldn't let us upload the audio version, so apologies on that, but it was a technical fault. And then obviously if you want an opinion, head out to lanceandmore.ie. Also, do not forget, we will be back with another Roar episode on Friday. Conor, myself, not sure if Martin's going to be on, but we're going to be talking about David Carell has come out and spoken about what's happened in the last couple of days with the FAI, and we're going to cover that, and Eamon Dunphy's solution and what he thinks the FAI should do. All that and more will be coming up on Friday. Do not miss it. And of course, we will be live on Monday. All 3 of us again from 10 o'clock. We shall be live. Sorry, Conor, for only breaking that news to you. It will be a 10 o'clock kickoff. Sorry, but that's just the way I roll. Anyway, that's all we have time for, guys. Thank you very much. I'm David Dunn. He is Conor McAvoy. This is the League of Ireland Review and Lance and Roar. Money, boys and green.